Okay, so in this, so here this time period is increased. That means T has become 2T in this. Okay, so this can become 4T here. So here you see here during one cycle, that is you are taking two cycle, we are only using positive bridge, and next half cycle we are using negative bridge. So the frequencies again, it will become 4T, means frequency is getting reduced because time period is equal to inverse of frequency. Time period is 1 by f. So if T is equal to 1 by f, 2T become 25 hertz, 4T become 12 point hertz. So the frequency is reduced. This is the way how a cycloconverter is working. So you can now how you fire this cycloconverter, it's all depend upon the control circuit. The firing circuit decides which thyristor is to be fired, because during positive off cycle we are only firing P1 and P2, and during negative off cycle also we are firing P3 and P4. But you can even fire this thyristor also, but it's depend upon the firing cycles. This is a concept of a cycloconverter, how it converts fixed voltage, fixed frequency into variable voltage, variable frequency. So this is diagram is good enough. Explain working of a cycloconverter with help of a neat sketch. You can draw this diagram and explain how it is working. It converts fixed voltage, fixed frequency into a variable voltage, variable frequency in a single step without rectifying the voltage. Here you don't use any DC section. You see in this you have a DC section here. Here you have a DC section. See, this is a DC part. This is not there in case of cycloconverter. That is a difference between cycloconverter, and it is using only thyristors and thyristor switching on and switching off. Both are by natural commutations. Okay, turning off the thyristor and turning off the thyristor is natural commutation. This conversion is done using power electronic switches and thyristors and switching them in a logical manner. Now the logical manner means the firing control circuit is switching on them in a logical way. Normally these thyristors will be separated in two half, that is positive bridge and negative bridge. Okay, each half will be made to conduct by turning them during the each half cycle of the AC, this enabling a bidirectional power flow. So this is a cycloconverter. This is little outdated one. Now this was used in passenger ships and all before. Nowadays most of the passenger ships are using either load commutator inverter or the VSI converter. Okay, so these three converters are very important, and here you can see here this is a cycloconverter. Now how many pulses here? You can see here this is positive bridge, this is negative bridge. Positive bridge you have 6 converters, 6 thyristors, negative bridge also 6. Supply is given here. So during positive half cycle, this one will conduct. Negative half cycle, this will conduct. So your output is like this, positive and negative half cycle. So you can vary the frequency, you can decrease the frequency, increase the frequency by varying this output. Like, you can increase the time period. You can make it more, you can make it less, depend upon the way you want to fire these thyristors. This is a synchronous motor because this is a stator winding which is fed with an AC supply here. This is a rotor winding which is fed with a DC supply here. So this is a field excitation, and this is the stator supply and rotor supply. So this is a synchronous motor. Okay, so cycloconverters are generally used with synchronous motors. And with the induction motors, AC motors, we are using mostly VFDs, that is voltage source inverters. So no need this diagram, but this is important for this. This diagram is good enough for this question. This diagram and this explanation. Okay, so now mainly we have covered 2 converters. Very important. Load commutator inverter, because load is commutating the inverter. This is the inverter section. The load is commutating this. How the load is commutating? The back EMF. The back EMF produced in this synchronous motor is commutating these thyristors. That is, it is known as a load commutator inverter. Load commutated inverter. And next one is the VFDs. So this is called VFD, or you can call voltage source inverter also. So don't get confused when you see the question like voltage source inverter. It is same as like a VFD. Now here you see here you have a DC section, you have an AC section, you have a DC section here. So AC is the input, output is also AC. So AC input is given to this DC link, and DC link is connected with an inverter which produces a AC output. So the rectifier in the VFD is used to convert incoming AC power into direct power, and approximately the term 6 pulse is used because we are using 6 rectifiers. This can be thyristor also, it can be rectifier also. Just only purpose is to convert AC supply into DC, that's it. So after the power flows through the rectifier, it is stored in this DC bus. What is called bus? Because this is called a bus. These lines are called the bus lines. Like bus bar, no? Same like a bus bar, bus. So it's an inductor, this is a capacitance. This stores the charges for these inverters. So this contained capacitors and inductors. It will filter also, it will prepare the input for this. And this inverters, here we are using semiconductor switches like IGBTs or GTOs. We can use this because this is one directional device, and commutation is done by a switching operation. It's by a different circuit itself. So you can, in this case, you can turn off the this IGBT, you can turn off with the gate signal. When it becomes negative, you can turn off this. So that is the advantage of this. You can turn on, turn off this, whereas in thyristors, you cannot turn on, turn off with the gate signal. But on IGBTs, you can turn off with the gate signal. By a negative voltage or a low voltage at the gate, you can turn off the IGBTs. So here, in case of voltage source inverter, we are using IGBTs, and both we are using thyristors. So IGBT can be turned, switch on and switch off several thousand times per second, and precisely control the power delivered to the motor. IGBT uses a method named pulse width modulation, and to stimulate a current sine wave at a desired frequency to the motor is dependent upon the frequency. So IGBTs you can turn on and turn off, and you can vary the voltage and frequency. That is called pulse width modulations. So by varying the width of the pulse and varying the firing angle, you can vary the RMS voltage as well as the frequency. So this is the advantages of voltage source inverter. Here we are using IGBTs or GTOs because by gate signal you can turn off and turn on. So advantages of VFDs, it is energy saving. The starting inrush current is very low because we are varying the RMS voltage by varying the firing angle. Then reduction in thermal and mechanical stresses. There is no jerk, there is no high temperature. Then simple installations, higher power factor and lower kVA rating. So when you explain this voltage source inverter, you must mention what is pulse width modulation, because it is important that how you are varying the voltage and frequency. This is by pulse width modulations. So the process involved in inverting a DC voltage into a variable voltage, variable frequency, that is known as the pulse width modulations. Pulse width modulation uses transistors which switch the DC voltage on and off in a defined sequence to produce an AC output voltage and frequency. Most of the VFDs use IGBTs today. So here we can see how the voltage is varied by varying the width of the pulse. The RMS voltage is varied. And by varying the sequence, the switching frequency rate at which the pulse this is switched on. Rate on off method, by rate on off times. How many times you switch on and switch off, your frequency is varied. 30 Hertz, 20 Hertz, 10 Hertz, you can see the frequency is varied. So this is a pulse width modulations. Okay, so I think it's 3:30 now. I'll stop it. Okay, so we have 2-3 interruptions with the internet. Okay, Wi-Fi was stopped in between. That is why it got cut. And whatever it is left over, we'll discuss in the next class. I'd send you all the slides also today. Go through the slides today, and in the next class we'll start from here again. These 3 converters are very important. You must know all the 3 converters. Okay, load commutator inverter, cycloconverter, voltage source inverter. Converter diagram, brief explanation about this. Okay, gentlemen, I think it's a coffee time. I break from here. Thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.